everybody, good afternoon and welcome to a doubleheader. It's an absolute cracker of a day. It's starting off with Brighton against Liverpool, both coming back from disappointing losses last week. And then, of course, the main event is Manchester City's trip to Arsenal. But in many ways, I feel that this is the main event, or at least a very, very, very good starter. Both these teams could, well, Brighton aren't going to win the league, let's be honest. I can't hype that up. But Liverpool could win the league. As you see, there's the team news on the screen, or the team news as I would call it. But look, very, very excited for this one. And I think that Nathan says we're Goldbridge out tomorrow. Why? Oh, football career mode. Yeah, you're going to eat those words. You're going to be eating Goldbridge out. Which sounds a bit sinister, but yeah, you just don't eat tonight, mate, because you're going to be eating your words tomorrow and it's going to fill you up. But yeah, let's get straight into this. Liverpool against Brighton. Interesting with the Brighton team lineup again. He has made some changes. As you can see, Liverpool will start off with them on the screen. Alisson, Trent, Matip, Van Dijk, Robertson, Szoboszlai, McAllister, Elliott, Salah, Nunez and Diaz. I think that's, I don't know whether that's Liverpool's strongest team, but it's certainly a strong team. And, you know, their bench is starting to look a little bit better. I mean, still, you know, not really. I suppose Jota's injured, isn't he? Gakpo's injured, so hence Nunez starts. But Gravenberch, yeah, it's a bit of a weak bench for Brighton, for Liverpool, if I'm being honest. But I'm very excited about these games. I mean, which way do you go on this one? We'll do a poll on this. In a moment, but I can't wait for this one. Look, I think Arsenal Man City takes care of itself, the hype and everything like that. But I love football. I love football, and for me, this game is just two teams that want to play football, going in a head-to-head. So really excited about it. Verbruggen in goal. Obviously, remember both these teams played Thursday night football. Verbruggen in goal for Brighton. Veltman, Dunk, Dos Santos and March at left back. Obviously, Estepanan has been injured, which is a bit of a blow. Gross, Beliba, Adingra, Pedro, Matoma and Ferguson. So, again, more changes in that midfield for Brighton. He does like to change his team a lot, and he has certainly made some changes today. Welbeck, Lallana, Dawood, Gilmore, Fatty, all on the bench. And yeah, look, I did my win, lose or draw with Ben Foster. I think we're about level going into this game, actually. And Jesse Marsh playing at left back, Zimish. And I think I went with a Liverpool win in this, and I think he went for a Brighton win. So yeah, interesting how it's going to pan out in this game. But yeah, I'm going to do a little bit of a poll here, because I'm definitely in the situation of it could go either way. I just think that Brighton are a bit up and down this year. Good team, but they're a little bit probably what I expected. I think that the expectation of Europe and also the Premier League is a little bit much for Brighton, and I think that it will sort of take its toll. They do rotate a lot, Brighton, as well, and I think that might be an issue. But look, you've got your poll there. Get your votes in. Who do you think is going to win this game? Interestingly, I think it's always interesting to look at how things are looking in the league table at the moment. As you can see on the screen, we should have a league table for you, and we do. And the top of the league at the moment looks like this. So Liverpool are only a point off Spurs if they win today, which shows you how galling and how much of an injustice that last week was. Not that we're not going to talk about that much. Hopefully no bad refereeing decisions, but even a Brighton win puts them right up there as well, and they'd certainly be in and about it going into the international break. So look, it's a massive game for both of these teams. It's a huge game. There's some good games this afternoon as well. West Ham Newcastle's a big game. Wolves Villa at 2:00. We'll be keeping you updated. This is better than the 3:00 yesterday. There's some cracking games going on today, and it all finishes off with Arsenal against Manchester City, of course. But if you look at Brighton, their next few games are tough. They play, obviously, Liverpool today. Then they've got to go to the Etihad straight after the international break, Saturday at 3:00. That'll be tough. Then they play Ajax in the Europa League, which is a game they need to win. Then they've got Fulham. Then they've got Everton, Ajax again, Sheffield United, Forest. So they've got a good run of games after they play Liverpool and Man City. So they could really do with a result, because I think if they lose today, they're going to be staring down 3 Premier League defeats in a row, which is not very Brighton-like, is it? As for Liverpool, well, the Brighton away is a difficult game for them. Then they've got Everton at home, Forest at home, Bournemouth away, Luton away. Bournemouth away is in the cup, by the way. Brentford at home, and then they play Man City. I mean, Liverpool really, if they can get a result today, Brentford at home in the league, Luton away in the league, Forest at home in the league, Everton at home in the league. You'd expect them to win their next 4 and take 12 points. So Liverpool really, I mean, look, it was a complete and utter injustice last week. Ain't nobody going to tell you that. But if Liverpool had beaten Spurs last week, they'd obviously be top of the league now. And they've got 4 very winnable games after today. So there we go. Oh, I hope you've noticed my new balls, by the way. Look at the top right. Look at the top right. That is prop. I'm going to get it. That is a proper. It's not a replica. That's a proper Prem League ball. That is. You can tell. Look at the detail in it. Yeah. It's only on a borrow. It's actually got a date on it as well. This is from a game this season. I'd just be in trouble if I told you what game it was, because then the person would be exposed. So we're not going to do that. But it's on a borrow. Probably cost about £100 those balls, don't they? Yeah, we've made some changes, which is what we want to do with the background. We want to make some changes, and a nice little trio there in the corner. 66% of you going with a Liverpool win so far. And I speak for everyone in the chat when I say we want a Brighton win, says Treble Chat. I mean, I always want Liverpool to lose. Absolutely. I mean, as a Man United fan, of course I want Liverpool to lose. I thought they were robbed last week. I don't think they were unlucky. I think they were robbed. And I will always shout out, as I say on the podcast, Goldbridge Says Football, give it a listen. As I say on the podcast, I will always, doesn't matter who the team is, it can be Liverpool, Arsenal, Accrington Stanley. It makes no difference to me. I will always shout out injustice when it comes to the officiating, which I think is crap. I mean, as I said yesterday, I haven't been live with you lot yesterday, was I? I just did a reaction. But I personally think that the praise that the referee got, and I'll be interested to see what people think about this, the praise that the referee got for sending Basuma off for the second yellow card against Luton yesterday, I was actually a little bit angry when I saw it, because I was like, if I was a Spurs fan, I'd be bloody fuming. They'll get away with it because he did dive and he was on a yellow card and you should be booked for diving. But how many times do we see that? I've seen it happen with Bruno. I've seen it happen with Saka. It happens all the time that they don't get booked for diving. So I thought that Spurs was a fantastic result for Spurs yesterday. But again, it comes down to the inconsistency, doesn't it? We don't always see that yellow card for diving. And that's something I want to see. But what a game today. I can't believe it. What a day. I'm so pumped up for this today. So pumped up. I mean, I love football. And Jack's 26 tomorrow. Oh, to be 26 tomorrow, Jack. I'd like to be 26 tomorrow, but still have the same life, which would be problematic because that would mean I had my oldest at 10. So, yeah, that would be a bit noncy on the wife, wouldn't it? Yeah, it doesn't work. So I can't be 26. I didn't think that through. I wouldn't mind being 26. I'm very happy. Age is a number. I mean, I think youngsters today, they take the piss out of people who are over 30. But trust me, not a lot changes up there. You're still the same. So yeah, I can't be 26 because I don't want to change my life in that sense. You can't be having kids at 10. Unless you want to end up on the front page of the News of the World, which probably doesn't exist anymore. FPL Watch. I've got 7 points. I don't know whether that's a good thing or a bad thing. It's not actually that bad because I've only had 3 players play. So I've got Colwill, who got me 2 points. I got Hoyland, who got me 2 points. And I got Son, who got me 3 points. So, yeah. Have I got anyone playing in this game? Actually, I didn't realise I've got 3 playing in this game. I've got Salah, Matoma, and Lamptey. And he's not playing. Lamptey's not even on the fucking bench. What the fucking hell? I fucking don't believe it. I don't believe it. Can he believe it? Lamptey's not even on the bench. Who will come off my bench for me? Lascelles. Newcastle. So I've got a Newcastle defender and a Newcastle and a West Ham goalkeeper playing that. That ain't going to work. That's not going to work. Is Lascelles playing? Yes, he is. Keep an eye on that. Then I've got quite a few playing in the... have I got any Villa players or Wolves players? No. 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 No, I haven't. Is the honest answer there. Right. Anyway, enough of that. Let's get back to the game. And we've had a super chat coming in from Dance. He says, I want to be 16 again so I can be the youngest striker for Everton and score a hat-trick every game, says Dance. And I imagine if it was Wayne Rooney. I'm going for a draw today, says Connor. Welcome to Members Club Savage. Thank you very much for supporting the channel. Sabozlai goal today, says P. And Luke says, I've got 27 points. Maddison, Johnston and Udogie played. Thank you very much. Kay says, what accent in England do you hate the most? Well, I'm not for what's the word? I don't want to basically do myself any harm by isolating. You never know when I might want to do a podcast live show in Stoke. So I'm not going to start saying what's the worst accent in England, because you never know when you might need to go and do a show there. Look, I live not too far away from Birmingham. I don't mind the accent. My kids grew up with a bit of an accent, but we sort of we taught them not to speak like that as really broad Brummies, because we're not broad Brummies. But I don't mind the Brummie accent. Scouse, I don't really mind any accent, if I'm being honest. We're about to kick off here, and I'm not ready, so apologies. Well, I am ready, but I haven't got the timer ready, because I'm a bloody prat, basically. Okay, we're off. He's going to restart the game because people were encroaching on the half. Anthony Taylor's the referee, isn't he? Looks like it. Well, it's bold. Okay, we're off now. Yeah, I'm going with the Liverpool win. That's my prediction. But, you never know. Don't forget that you can download the OneFootball app. The link is in the description. Or you can scan the QR code in the right-hand corner. Free to download. Get all your latest breaking football news. Of course, there are other games going on as well, so you can get score updates on the OneFootball app. They come in really quickly. And best of all, I think, is that we have the team stats on the stats carousel, which OneFootball provide. But there it is, actually. But we also get 100% pass accuracy from Brighton. Stop the clock. But they also have the individual team player stats as well, which I quite like to have a look at. So make sure you check that out. March is playing left back against Salah, and Ibrahim is laughing about that. Well, look, I think the game's kicked off here. We're in for a very interesting game of football because Brighton are that team that everybody keeps an eye on and likes, and Liverpool are a team that seem to be back this season. So I tell you what, I quite like the number 20 for Brighton as well. He doesn't really get mentioned that much, but Belieber, his name is. I think he could be another sort of player that, another Casido, another Basuma, another Gilmore, another superstar. Only 19 years of age, and just keep an eye on him. He could be the next one. We'll see. Lee Berman's got 16 in his FPL. Good interception by Elliott here. And goes back to Van Dijk. Remember, Brighton losing 6-1 at Villa last week. Liverpool losing in those what can only be described as horrific circumstances at Spurs. And I'd say what it's worth keeping an eye on as well. I wonder, referees-wise, whether something's been said about, we need to keep Liverpool on side. There is Belieber, did very well there. Number 20, keep an eye on him. Goldbridge's hot take. But this is what I like about Brighton. I mean, I think I'd like it if I was a Brighton fan as well, but this is what we struggle with at Manchester United, and I'm sure other fans have it at their club as well, but we've got no identity. Man United's identity is rubbish. I mean, what a win it was yesterday, but any United fan will tell you it was It was basically make all your subs play 10 up front and just chuck long balls into the box, and we won. It was Stoke ball. I mean, Liverpool fans will know it was a bit like a Origi ball. You know, you chuck on a player who really would never start, and you just whack balls into the box, and it worked. United have got no identity. I don't know what Ten Hag's best 11 is now, because the people who won him the game yesterday never play. So he's going to start playing them and drop his favourites. Is Garnacho going to play instead of Rashford? Is McTominay going to play instead of Mount? You know, I don't know. And it was an electric end to the game, and it was fantastic to win because we needed it. But United have got no identity. But you look at Brighton, and every time I watch them, they're a good side. You know, but not only are they a good side, even against Villa when they lost 6-1, I still like watching Brighton because you know it's a bit like Bielsa ball with Leeds, didn't it? They didn't always win, but they were always a good watch. It was always a good game, and that's what you want to see. Doogie says, I'd like Brighton to win, but I think Liverpool will. Well, we started off here with a corner for Liverpool. For Brighton. Thanks everyone who's tuning in, by the way. Make sure you subscribe, bottom right-hand corner. You're very welcome on That's Football, the general football channel, where everybody's welcome. Don't forget to listen to it. Oh, it should have been a goal. Jesse Marsh just didn't get any power on it. It was a lovely corner routine, and it flicked to Jesse Marsh, and he just passed it, and he should have put his foot through it. Lovely corner routine. I mean, there's so many people in front of him. He's trying to pass it through a brick wall, really. But another corner here for Brighton. I keep calling him Jesse Marsh. It's Solly Marsh. Sorry, I do it all the time. If you listen to the podcast, you know I do it all the time. Another corner from Brighton. Dunk on the back post. And another block. And another corner. They're causing problems here. Causing problems. It is Jesse Marsh. He signed for Brighton. He couldn't get a manager's job. So, again, Brighton just not getting the connections there. Good header by Dunk. I mean, that was a goal kick. It wasn't a bloody corner. They've given a corner, but it wasn't a corner. It went off a Brighton player. If they score from this, there'll be outrage. But they're not going to score from this because Van Dijk has headed it away. And now Liverpool pounce on the break. And look at Belieber. Oh, he's got that wrong. He's tried to be a bit clever there. And it's a foul on Nunez by March, who might get a yellow card. No. No yellow card. Well, Belieber here, I've given him a bit of a jinx because he concentrates on the shoulder barge and not on the ball. That's inexperience for you. Jesse Marsh, Solly Marsh, makes sure that he makes the foul. Refs are going to be shitting themselves now, says Charlie. How's your FPL, Mark? Says 516. Really bad. Really bad. Daniel, thanks for being a member for 17 months. Yeah, really bad. I've only got 7 at the moment, but I have got a lot of players playing today. Saliba, Haaland, Salah, Mitoma, Areola. Oh, sorry, we've got the name police in the chat. Go and touch some grass. Edge of the box. Szoboszlai might hit that. He's got a lovely shot on him, and he did hit it, but it got blocked. Where did everyone get their points yesterday in Fantasy Premier League? I'm trying to think. I suppose there was a few clean sheets around, wasn't there, for Spurs. Good start by Brighton, though. Liverpool looking a little bit cautious at the start of this game. They've not really started off quick. Maddison points, yeah. Maddison got an assist, yeah. A lot of people captained Son yesterday. Blame me. First time I've put Son in my team and he does fuck all. Lovely pass out by the back. Oh, no. Yeah, Alisson, lovely pass out. Oh, what did I say? What did I say? If you listen to the podcast on a Friday, we do Goldbridge Ball where you have to pick 5. It's me against Will. You have to pick 5 goal scorers from the weekend. And as Phil Jones said, one of my picks for the weekend was Jackson. So there we go. I did also go with Jimenez, and when I saw Fulham had scored 3, I thought, I've done it, and then he didn't. And then I saw Everton had scored 3, and I had Calvert-Lewin, and he didn't. So, could have been better. I've got Salah, actually, in my Goldbridge as well. What's your honest take on McTominay? Seriously, better than Mount defensively, and offensively, I don't see what Mount has to offer, says Abraham. I don't think McTominay's very good defensively at all. I've seen him play as... I don't think McTominay's good defensively. I really don't. I think you make an interesting point about whether he offers more than Mount going forward. Well, he's got 2 goals, Abraham. I'd stick to that. I wouldn't start, trying to big him up defensively. I think he's rubbish defensively. Hide and seek, yellow cards, bunny hops on the ball. But going forward and in and around the box, that's the question, isn't it? Is he better than Mount? He gets it more than Mount at the moment. So I think that's an interesting conversation. Lee Berman says you should get an assist because you said Maguire would score and he got an assist. I think Scott McTominay, if he doesn't start playing regularly for Manchester United, and I don't anticipate he will, why would you not go and make a move to, a West Ham or a Fulham where you'll play regularly and you'll score more goals? We've got a goal for West Ham, early doors, and they're playing Newcastle, remember? Both, Newcastle were brilliant in Europe the other night. Thomas Soucek, who I took out of my fantasy Premier League team, Antonio assist. Fucking great, isn't it? I actually took him out. Classic Goldbridge. Soucek has scored for West Ham 1-0. It's not a Ward-Prowse assist, though. A lot of people probably got him. It's an Antonio assist. Remember, Villa are playing Wolves at Wolves, and West Ham are playing Newcastle at West Ham this afternoon at the same time. Here's Mo Salah breaking from the midfield. Good defence by Brighton, and that's a foul by Diaz, 100%. You wonder why he makes that sort of tackle. What are your thoughts on Rooney to Birmingham, says James? Well, what are your thoughts as a Birmingham fan? I mean, Will's a Birmingham City fan who does the podcast. He's not happy about it. He says that the team's doing really well. Why would you change the manager? So he's not happy about it. He feels it's a bit of a circus move. I think to be honest, I think it's exciting. But I'm not a Blues fan. Yeah, clean sheet's gone for Lascelles straight away. Oh, I think we've got a Newcastle goal as well. No, we haven't. I don't know why I'm saying that because I've got score flash on as well for One Football. So, yeah, definitely not a goal. Bran says, I said this months ago, nobody listened. McTominay should play centre forward. Thank you, Bran. And he says, still nobody's listening, so I'm going to say it again. James says he feels the same way as Will. We shouldn't be changing the manager. Good interception. Pedro cut back. That was the guy I told you to keep an eye on. He's had a good start, Belieber, for Brighton, number 20. I mean, imagine if Brighton with Belieber end up with another midfielder who is basically the quintessential talented box-to-box. I mean, that is incredible recruitment if it happens. Basuma, selling for big money to Spurs. Casido, selling for big money to Chelsea. And then Belieber. It'd be unbelievable. What's your second favourite sport, says Dino. Here's Sir Bosley. Liverpool not really settled in this game. Sorry for the sniff there. I have had a cold last week, as many of you will have witnessed. Second favourite sport. I don't really have a second favourite sport. You know, it's a little bit like being married and saying, you know, what's your second favourite woman? I mean, I just don't have one. I'm happily married, and I'm happily married to football. So, It would be unbelievable, says Sam, if Belieber becomes as good as Casido. I do like snooker, Zach. Yeah, I suppose snooker, really. I don't watch it as much as I would like to because it's a long sport to watch. I don't watch F1 anymore. Boring. It's boring. I mean, Verstappen's won it already. And there's actually people on Twitter who like Max Verstappen. And I'm like, there's very little to like about him for a start. But fucking hell, he's just in... It's boring. I like boxing, yeah, but I don't follow it as... Nothing. I don't follow anything as in-depth as I follow football. Nothing comes close. Red card for Man City women, says CFC. Jay plays tennis. Sounds like a video. Sounds like a sitcom. 13 minutes, 0-0, but it is 1-0 to West Ham at home to Newcastle. Soucek has scored. I need goals in this game. I've got no defenders in this game, so I need goals. I don't need 0-0. I never even thought about a draw as well. We did a poll on who was going to win. Liverpool 62%, Brighton 25%, and a draw 13%. So there we go. A lot of people going for that. Mark, who do you think will get promoted from the Championship? Says Alex, Leicester. And NFL is elite. Go Bucks, says Patrick. You pro Glazer shit. I suppose you can't help it if that's your team. Favourite bag of crisps, says Gary. We're not at that stage, surely. This has got the potential to be a good game. I like posh crisps anyway. I like the, nearly said ribbed. That's not what I meant. I like the, what do they call them? Ridged. Ridge. Crisps. I like, yeah. I used to like those spicy tomato snaps. Don't know whether I'd like them as an adult, but I really loved those as a kid. Yeah, both teams sort of cancelling each other out at the moment. Both teams want to press and pass, and sometimes when you've got two teams that want to do that, it's very hard to, get any flow, isn't it? Van Dijk tries a long ball there, but Liverpool pick up the second ball. Trent goes forward. Easy tackle for March. And then he plays a nice little 1-2. Trent fouls him, but the ref says play on, and Matoma just skips past Harvey Elliott. Takes the foul. No, it wasn't Harvey Elliott, it was McAllister. The NFL is playing in London right now. Jaguars versus Buffalo Bills. Would you ever go to an NFL game? I'd like to go. I'd like to go in America. I like the Cowboys, so I'd like to go. I think one year somebody told me the best time to go to America if you want to watch sport is to try and overlap basketball, NFL, and ice hockey, because I don't really care about baseball. And I can't remember what month they said that happens. I'm going to do a KSI Tommy Fury watch along next week. Wouldn't normally give a shit, to be honest, because it's not proper boxing, but I'm quite intrigued by that. I mean, I like to watch real boxing. But I'm going to do a watch along for that. I'm interested in that. I mean, really, Tommy Fury should be fucking winning that, but is it a fix? Is it a scam? Does a replay suit both parties? My issue with YouTuber boxing, or whatever what you want to call it, is you never really get the result you think you're going to get. And it makes me feel like, is it a bit staged? I don't know. 516 says, do you fancy yourself in YouTuber boxing, Mark? I did get offered in the early days, I did get an offer, and I suppose it was fairly lucrative, but No, I'd get divorced if I did that. Try watching darts. It's very underrated and the crowd is amazing, says Tob. I don't mind flicking the darts on at Christmas. It's watchable. Fury said he's taken out all these wannabe YouTuber boxers, says Steph. Yeah, Tommy Fury's just making money, isn't he? He's probably making more money from that than he would from real fighting. After Guitar's statement, no chance of ownership, says Simply. What statement? What statement? I haven't seen a statement. I can't see any statement. I think you're lying. At some point, clubs will stop investing in scouting departments and just hire people to follow Brighton scouts around, says Blicky. And we can't afford to be snobby about McTominay or other second stringers right now. First team's useless and won't change till sales are made and players are dropped, says Rian. I don't think anybody is snobby about it. I mean, I'm not McTominay's biggest fan, but as I've always said, if people deliver in a shirt, it's not an agenda and it's not hate. It's I just want what's best for Man United. I don't care who scores the goals. I'd have been over the moon if Johnny Evans or Harry Maguire or Anthony Martial had been the scorers yesterday. What's your score prediction for City versus Arsenal, says Michelle? I'm going with an Arsenal win, but it's not a prediction. It's well, it is a prediction, but I'm not confident about it. Good interception here. Terrible. And it's 1-0. And I tell you what, we've got a goalkeeping error from the goalkeeper, funnily enough. It's Adingra who scores the goal. And basically, we see it again. We're seeing it time and time and time and time again. People playing out from the back and costing themselves goals. These goals technically are self-inflicted. Passing out from the back, Alisson passes it to McAllister against his former club. I think he thinks he's playing for them. I do. Oh, it's Van Dijk's pass to McAllister, actually. Alisson's out a goal. Lovely finish because he has to pass it in. It's a bad pass by Van Dijk, that. It's a bad pass, but it's a very good finish. I mean, it's not Alisson's fault. I thought Alisson passes it to McAllister. He doesn't. That's on Van Dijk, passing out from the back. But it's a bad pass into the feet of McAllister. And Adingra is there. Do you think that with what happened this weekend that the footballers going to Saudi Arabia are going to regret it, says the HPN? I need more context. So Brighton take the lead here. Adingra scores. There'll be no assist on that unless you want one from Van Dijk. 1-0 to Brighton. Game on. Sloppy goal from Liverpool. Yeah, I mean, uneducated people will blame McAllister there, but it's a terrible pass. It's really bad. He's got his back, doesn't know what's behind him. There's not enough weight on the pass, and they just react really, really quickly, don't they? People are trying to... Somebody in the chat just says that's on McAllister. It's not. There's a responsibility on McAllister, but it's Van Dijk's pass is just not the pass to play in that situation. Corner to Liverpool. They're going to have to fight back here. Still 0-0 in the Wolves-Villa game. Yeah, no assist on that. No assist on that. So, Liverpool. Maybe there's a bit maybe there's a bit of a hangover for Liverpool from what happened last week. They're not playing well at the moment. Virtual Van Dijk, says Red. I think I have heard of that one, but it made me laugh. They've not settled Liverpool, and this is the beauty of Brighton, really, isn't it? They are a really good team, and yeah, we know that they're vulnerable, but here's Salah into the box. Nothing going on with that. Yeah, Brighton are vulnerable. We've seen them get smacked up by Villa. West Ham beat them. They've struggled a little bit in the Europa League, but they're still a really good team, Brighton, and they're obviously up for it today. Mark, it's my birthday today. I support Arsenal. They could possibly ruin my day later on, says Rona. I'd be massively excited about that if I was an Arsenal fan. I mean, I'm massively excited as a non-Arsenal fan. I think it's the games last season between Arsenal and Man City had so much on them, and I thought Arsenal were dreadful at the Etihad, but the game at the Emirates, I think they could have done better. Baliba's having a great game. Bad pass. Jinxed him. Somebody just said Brighton B team is beating Liverpool's A team. That's the thing about De Zerbi and Brighton. They never they change the team so much it's hard to know what their best team is. Good play by Pedro here, holding the ball up. It's, Liverpool having to play with a little bit more urgent. I want to see goals in this game. I've got players on both teams playing, and I need goals. Actually, I think I have got a Brighton defender here. No, Lamptey's not playing, is he? I've got Matoma and Salah. Oh, oh shit, Arsenal fans, apologies. I've got Alvarez and Haaland in my team. That might not be good. I'll sacrifice my FPL for an Arsenal win. Time for a stretch. Well, in a game like this, with two teams like this that are very watchable, you want a goal. You want a goal. Doesn't matter who scores. Obviously, I prefer Brighton to score because I don't want Liverpool to win. But you want a goal to open it up. And that's what we've got now in the first 25 minutes. That's an interesting stat. Liverpool have conceded 7 goals in the first half this season and only 1 in the second half. Does that suggest they spend a lot of time chasing games? I don't know. Please subscribe to the channel, by the way. You're all very welcome on That's Football. Channel for everybody to get involved in. Apart from... No, I don't. Actually, everybody's welcome. We're very close to 38,000, by the way. We're only a couple of hundred subscribers away, so please do subscribe. Bottom right-hand corner. Brighton on the attack. Again, he's going to get a shot off. Why didn't you hit it? Why didn't you hit it better? Gross. Sam, have you been to Australia, Mark? I haven't been. I'd like to go. I haven't been. And I'd like to go. Nigel Jones says it's going to be 8. Arsenal 8. Man City 3. I can tell you it's not. It'd be a great game if it was. Brighton already had 4 corners. Hi Mark, I live abroad. Hard to get English commentary on TV here. Your watch-alongs are the best solution. I'm hoping for a Newcastle win, says Will. Well, you're losing at the moment. Losing at the moment to West Ham, another team that are doing very, very well. Brighton go with a shorter corner here. It'll dink in. And it will go for another corner on the other side. Yeah, it's an intrigue. Well, this is an intriguing game, but it's an intriguing game, Arsenal-Man City. I think Arsenal have to win that. I'm having a lot of trouble with my Wrexham manager mode. I'm on world-class difficulty. Some games I win, but other games I lose 10-1, says Brand. What? If I could play on world-class, I'd win the treble. As you know, I'm fighting it out with Legendary at the moment, putting in the hours, but I'm just struggling to score at the moment. Matoma is playing, Amar. I got Matoma and Salah today, so I could do with a goal fest. 4-3 to Brighton, hat-trick for Matoma and Salah would be perfect. From an FPL point of view. Would you ever consider managing a lower league side, says Sinister? I'd do a good job. I would, you know, I'd actually be good at it. I don't think managing's that difficult until you get to the higher leagues. I don't really think it is. Hi, Mark. Where do you see Arsenal in a couple of years, says Ryan? You just got to be a motivator, be able to communicate and have a plan. I've got all of those things. And I've got the banter. This is a lovely break down the right-hand side. Adingra's got it again. He's not really got any options. Lovely little cut inside. He wants a pass. It's into Matoma. And he does well. But he falls over. Charlie Tyler, thank you very much for... Tyra, thank you very much for your super chat there. Appreciate that. First ever one. Let's celebrate his first super chat. Didn't realise it did that on YouTube. That's quite nice. Travis says, where the fuck has Adingra come from and why is he so good? Well, I'm not going to, you know, I'm not going to be pretending I know anything about any of these players. Belieber, Adingra, I don't really know anything about them. Adingra is 21, plays for the Ivory Coast, and yeah, I think he joined Brighton this summer. Oh no, last year, 2022, he joined. 2022, signed a 4-year contract. But it's only this season that he's come in. I mean, remember they got that lad Enciso as well, who's injured. He's another one. They've just got so many good players. Brighton, I told you this. I have to keep telling people because Belieber's from Lille. You know, you might know him actually. They did spend quite a bit of money on him, 27 million euros in the summer. So, you know, they're not afraid to spend a bit of money. I mean, still relatively unknown player, but here he is. He's driving forward again here. Belieber. Lovely little touch. Goes for a shot. Just shoots wide. Could have used Matoma. But Belieber and Adingra at the moment are running this show. Absolutely running the show. Lovely little bit of skill. Went for the bottom corner. And Brighton looking for that second goal. And, I mean, let's be honest. Liverpool haven't had a shot on target yet. Brighton absolutely bossing Liverpool so far, who've been very disappointing. But, yeah, I've told this story before. Phoenix says Brighton are heating up. I've told you this story before. I was speaking to somebody who works in the Arsenal recruitment department at an event last January with Spotify. And we were having a chat afterwards about football. And we were talking about recruitment. And I said Arsenal's recruitment's got a lot better in the last 18 months. And they basically said that, you know, that the trendsetters are Brighton. Everybody is sort of trying to look at what Brighton do and, you know, take bits from it. But he said to me, it will take 18 months, 2 years to do that. So they're always 18 months, 2 years ahead. Hats off to you for all the amazing work and content, says Dan. Thank you very much, Dan. So it's amazing what they do. Eventually people will catch up, but he rotates his team a lot as well. I don't agree with that. I mean, I don't agree with it. But De Zerbi rotates his goalkeeper. He rotates his midfield. There's not really many examples of success doing that to the extent that he rotates, especially goalkeepers and midfielders. But yeah, you never know what team he's going to pick. Liverpool have not been very good today. I'm quite surprised by their opening half an hour here. They've not been very good. Who's going to win the league, Mark? Says Atax. Well, I think Liverpool, up until that Spurs game, and look, Brighton are a good side. I don't think if Liverpool lose today, I don't think it means they won't have a good season. I said the same about Villa. Villa lost to Newcastle and Liverpool in the first 4 games, and everyone was like, Villa aren't going to have a good season. But if you take those games on the chin and you go and win your other games, then you'll be right back up there. I think that we're so used to teams like Man City and even Arsenal at the start of last year just winning week in, week out. But actually, I think that there's a lot of good teams this year, and when you go to places like Brighton and Villa Park, you might find you're on the end of a bad result. But it doesn't mean you can't have a good season. As I said, Liverpool's next 4 games are very winnable. Everton, Forest, Luton, I think it's Brentford. So you go and win 4 in a row. Mark, why can't United recruit these hidden gems, says Kai. Because United's recruitment is absolutely shit, mate. Absolutely shit. Is it too early for a polar bear versus tiger debate? Oh, Luminous, I'm glad you said this. So, other night, conversation going on. Who wins in a fight, a polar bear or a hippo? We'd already decided that the hippo was a serial killer and the polar bear was a nonce, because we didn't want to think of a nice polar bear having a fight with a hippo to the death. And it's hypothetical anyway, but we made one a nonce and we made one a serial killer. They were bad polar bear and bad hippo. So who wins in a fight? A lot of people said hippo. Okay, I disagree with that. I think a polar bear wins. I know a lot about nature, and I think a polar bear beats a hippo. Well, surprise, surprise. On the weekend, I'm watching some documentary on wildlife, and what happens? A lion jumps on the back of a hippo, rips its throat, and kills it. And I thought, well, a polar bear would beat a lion, so therefore, it's not a closed shop. Now, I'm not saying that a hippo can't beat a polar bear, but the way some of you were talking the other day, it was like Tyson Fury having a fight with bloody Bilbo Baggins. No. A polar bear can beat a hippo if a lion can do it. Brighton are everything I wish United were. Structure, organisation and a great mentality. They're becoming everyone's second favourite club, says Charlie. And also, just to put a hat in the hippo ring, hippos, I saw another video where zebra are crossing a lake. I think it's in Africa. I don't think it's like Liverpool. I think it must be Africa. But there's this lake, and these zebras are going across it, and crocodile grabs a zebra, drags it into the water, biting on its leg. Zebra's fighting for its life. 2 hippos are just watching. Maybe to them it's their food porn. I don't know. They're just watching, and anyway, hippos share the same water with crocodiles. They're not scared of them. And a crocodile will not attack a hippo, but a hippo might attack a crocodile. Basically, hippos kill crocodiles, piece of piss. Man United needs Jose Mourinho, says Daniel. Photo says hippo wins out, no chance. Mate, I literally watched a lion kill a hippo, so there ain't no way a polar bear can't win. Oh, Salah was nearly in there. Anyway, from polar bears against hippos to Brighton against Liverpool, well, who's the hippo and who's the polar bear? Because at the moment it's Brighton on top. Liverpool haven't had a shot on target so far. Been very, very disappointing. Khan says, you're right, Mark. A polar bear wins easily. I'll tell you where it would win easily. Drop a bloody hippo in the North Pole and see what happens. Polar bear will be there freezing its tits. Hippo will be freezing its tits off, whilst a polar bear rips its tits off. Mark, Pedri or Bellingham, says unknown me. Well, I'm always going to go Bellingham. I think Bellingham is a force of nature. But he wouldn't be able to beat a polar bear. That's going to be a free kick on the edge of the box for Brighton. McAllister thinks it's a bit rough. It's a good free kick position here. Let Matoma take it. Was it a foul? Yes. Yes. Gets nothing on the ball. Yeah, good decision by the referee there. Who wins in a fight between a hippo and the Man United first team? Mate, Up until yesterday in stoppage time, I think a bloody Swan could beat the Man United first team. I think Daffy Duck could beat the Man United first team. Up until yesterday. Goldbridge versus Polar Bear would be... I mean, a lot of people might enjoy it, but it would be horrific. I'd need a weapon. Give me a weapon. A samurai sword, or... I can't use anything that you can project, so can't use a gun or a bow and arrow, but a samurai sword against the Polar Bear. People say it's unfair, but they've got claws. I haven't. Right, here we go. Free kick. March is going to take this, not Matoma. Oh, God. Rubbish. Straight into the wall. Matoma should have took that. It's gone out for a goal kick. I was on holiday in New Caledonia a few weeks ago and I saw a bloke with a Brighton jumper. Might be a scout. Could be a New Caledonian wonder kid soon, says Finn. Thank you. Lewis Dunk took the free kick. Start one, bench one, sell one. Xavi, Enzo, Muzziola. Start one, bench one, sell one. I'd sell Xavi, I would bench Enzo, and I would start Muzziola. That's just who I am. Thanks, top five. Don't go messing with swans, says Astro. I don't know whether it's a myth. I think it's a myth, but apparently a swan can break your arm. I must have heard that. Here we go. They're going. Oh, why didn't they pass? Now they pass. Salah 1-1, and that's a goal. And that's how quick things can change. I can't believe Brighton have got themselves into this position. They were queuing up. 1 minute's a goal kick. First chance of the game. Liverpool level it up, and Brighton will be kicking themselves because they've been the better team for 38 minutes. They've had the better chances. They've scored the goal, and here it is, passing out from the back. Look. A rubbish pass out from the back from Dunk, and they're in trouble. Solly marches out the game. Mo Salah scores. I mean, Harvey Elliott could have took it on himself. It's a Nunez assist as well. If you've got Nunez with the assist, Salah with the finish. 1-1. Simple as that. Simple as that. Hi Mark, I'm a big fan of yours, but my friend Jack thinks you're a bit of a knob. He's a bold Walsall fan. Any thoughts? Says Connor. Some people are thick and uneducated. You can't help it. It's diversity. The boldness I've got nothing to say about. Could have been me. Ran in my family. I've got hair. Lovely finish, Liverpool by Salah. I've got him in my FPL. I need goals in this game. I need goals in this game. If Brighton were playing players like Gore, Mainu, Ahmad, and Lacey, we would be hyping them up. Play the kids, says Veghorse. Treble Champ says, I read that a polar bear struggles with a walrus, which has no legs. Hippo is also 3 times the size of a polar bear. No contest. Treble Champ, I don't know where you read that. I would say you read it in a magazine called We're Talking Bullshit. A polar bear does not struggle with a walrus. I've seen it. Walruses jump off cliffs to their death to avoid being eaten alive by polar bears. They don't struggle with them at all. Walruses are slow. All walruses can do is get up like this and go, ow, 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 with their big horns. They're rubbish. Even with a sword and a lot of training, you'd have a chance of wounding it, killing it eventually, but you'd be in the upper room before then, says the Inquisition. Mate, I wouldn't. If a polar bear ran at me and I had a samurai sword, I will kill it. I hate to say it, it's cruelty to polar bears, but it's attacking me and I've got a samurai sword. I'll kill it. Oh, 50-50. Keeper's all right. Diaz went in on him. I'm not going to tickle it with it, am I? I'm not going to bloody just hit it on the arm. I'm going to wait like that. And I'm just going to go straight in a fucking... somewhere. Benny says, let it live. I'll tell you what, I'd want to let it live. There's shit I'm going to bring down on it. In the words of David Brent. Mark, could you beat up a chimpanzee if you had a baseball bat? That's just cruel, Lewis. That's just cruel. I think that's probably one of the worst comments I've ever read out. Liverpool nearly scoring again. Wants a penalty. He's given a penalty. Well, I tell you what, is that the leveller? And is that the leveller? And there it is. And there it is. The soft penalty we knew that Liverpool were going to get. Oh no, there's a penalty anyway. He pulls his shirt. He pulls his shirt. He pulls Sir Bosley's shirt. Taylor gives it for the second one. I don't think the second one's a penalty. I think the first one's a penalty. Grabs his shirt. That's a penalty for me, the first one. The second one that Anthony Taylor gives it for, I don't think it is. But the first one's a penalty. First one's a penalty. He's checking a penalty foul. Yeah, they'll give it. He's got hold of his shirt. They're going to give that. I just don't know where. I thought Anthony Taylor pointed for the second one. Oh, Salah's in my fantasy Premier League team as well, isn't he? Second one's not a penalty. First one is a penalty. But I don't think Anthony Taylor gave the first one. I think he gave the second one. It matters not. You can't argue about that. I don't think... I do think that they'll be out to give Liverpool decisions after last week, but that's not a gift. That's a penalty. You can't argue about that. How has this turned around so quickly? Well, as somebody just said in the chat, Mark, don't count your chickens. In FBL, if you miss a penalty, it's a points deduction. Well, the VAR showed the replay of the first one, so I think that's the one that they've given the penalty for. But Brighton making errors on both goals. Liverpool have been gifted this at half-time from Brighton. And it's a good penalty. Keeper went the right way. Mo Salah. And then he said Mo Scammer. Mo Salah, he's done nothing wrong as far as I'm aware. Joe's captain Salah this week. You know what? It's still a good game. Still a good game. There's still 45 minutes to go. De Zerbi will be furious. It's the way they play. It's the way I've started a new name in the chat, Mo Scammer. I don't know whether he's ever been called that before. It was a slip of the tongue. But it's a lovely penalty into the bottom corner. You could say Liverpool have scammed it, really. They haven't played well in the first half, but Brighton have contributed like they did last week. I mean, that's 8 goals in 135 minutes they've conceded, Brighton. So Liverpool fans should be thanking me anyway, because he'd only had 3 goals this season, Salah, before today. He's got 5 now. Put him in my team. I think I've started something inadvertently. It didn't come from a bad place. I actually think Salah's a very good player, despite wearing a Liverpool shirt. But if Mo Scammer wasn't a name before, I think I've started it by accident. It was a slip of the tongue, and I didn't actually mean it. But if you don't like Salah and you think he's a bit of a overhyped tap-in merchant, then I suppose it works. But I actually don't. I think he's a bit underrated. Liverpool fans, where are the lines? Show us the lines. Oh, the lines, you mean? Because I thought we... Night Jules now. Okay, playlist. Okay, didn't make much sense to me. 2-1 to Liverpool. They'll be very happy with that, of course. Brighton, really, at 1-0, I think they had this, and they looked like they were going to get the second goal. But football is a funny old game, as the late, great Sir Jimmy Greaves used to... we were spoiled. I was spoiled as a kid. Satan Greavesy on a Saturday afternoon. What a show. You don't get any of that shit anymore. You don't get any of that anymore, do you? Ooh, well, you get this. I didn't get this when I was growing up, to be fair. But crocodile versus a great white shark. Who would win? Says Mr. Potato. I mean, I don't think technically they could ever do it. It's a bit like a women's team playing against a man's team. It can't happen in a competitive arena at the moment, can it? I don't think a crocodile and a shark inhabit the same type of water, because I think sharks like a certain temperature of water, and I think crocodiles like, I don't know, I might be talking shit. I think if a crocodile was swimming on the surface of the sea, it would easily win. But then if a shark found its way in a lake, a crocodile might win. It's who grabs who first, really. If a crocodile grabbed hold of a great white shark on the side, it's done. But if a great white shark attacked the crocodile, it's whoever gets hold of each other first. Uh, 3 minutes added here. It looks like it's going to be half time. And he blows for half time, and it's a very interesting half of football as we thought it might be. Brighton, to their credit, played very, very well, but it's Liverpool who take the lead at half time, 2-1. Salah penalty. I don't think there can be any debate about that. And first goal was another mistake from Brighton. Brighton will be feeling tired, I think, and probably sick and tired of, conceding goals at the moment. What's the biggest animal you could take in a fight, says Mitch? Giraffe. Give me a ladder, one punch, bang. It's 2-1 to Liverpool here. It's 1-0 to Newcastle. No, it's 1-0 to West Ham in the Newcastle-West Ham game in London. And Wolves and Villa are 0-0 at half-time as well. So that's you up to date with that. Let's go to the stats at half-time and have a look at how this game has been played out. As you know, currently Liverpool are winning 2-1. But, look, the story of the half is very, very equal, isn't it? Look, their pass accuracy is similar. Passes are around the same. Tackles around the same. More corners for Brighton. Slightly more shots for Brighton, but more shots on target from Liverpool. Possession slightly in Liverpool's favour. So Liverpool will be over the moon with that. 2-1 up at half-time. The better team, maybe not across the half, but certainly leading the game. Hi, Mark. What's the biggest animal? I've done that one from Mitch. And polar bears are renowned cowards, whilst hippos kill for fun. Hippos all day. Also, I reckon I could take you on as well, Goldbridge. It'd be easy, Carl. I actually, forget taking me on, Carl. I would like to pay you. I will pay for this to a limit of £10,000. If you want to take this challenge, Carl, I will drop you off in the North Pole with £10,000 in your pocket, as long as there's a couple of polar bears within half a mile of you, and you've got to wear a GoPro, and I'll live stream it, and we'll see who you're calling a coward within about an hour. That's on, Carl. Forget, and I tell you what, if you survive that one, I'll get in the ring with you as well. So yeah, take that up, Carl. I'll happily pay the money. Apparently, polar bears are cowards. From Carl, soon to be deceased if he takes up that challenge. Reese, there we go. Live stream, that penalty's a joke. They only did it because Spurs robbed them. Marley, I think as much as, and this is nothing against Liverpool, and it was nothing against Spurs last week. This is the PGMOL. This is the referees. Spurs were a victim last week as much as Liverpool. Spurs had nothing to do with that, and Liverpool were robbed last week. And as easy as it would be to say that penalty that they've given there is soft and it's a sorry for last week, if that's Liverpool's apology, I wouldn't take it. If that's meant to make Liverpool feel better, I'd go up yours, because it's a stonewall penalty. Like it's not a gift. It's a penalty. In fact, you could argue there's two in the same incident. He's got full grab of his shirt and pulled him to the ground. It's a penalty. That's not a gift from PGMOL. If they hadn't have given that, it would be horrendous. So it was definitely a penalty, and I think Liverpool still need a proper answer to what happened last week. Northern Ireland here. Where's the PM of football today? Says Ben. I think he's commentating on Man City Arsenal. I am doing City Arsenal. Yes, Rudy. I will complete this game and then probably get a bite to eat. Go straight into that, and then I've got United stand at 8 o'clock tonight. And then back on FIFA career mode tomorrow afternoon. Lovely stuff. Lovely stuff. Don't. I have a bad back. That's actually clinically one of my exercises. So don't get excited. Never scored first against Liverpool, says Min. Never score first against Liverpool, says Min. And you work hard. Well, I enjoy the chat of watching football. And they're two big games, aren't they? That reminds me, please do subscribe to the channel. Bottom right-hand corner. We are very, very close to 37,000. We're only 100 away. Are you good at darts, Mark, says Cal? I'll probably beat you. I'm pretty good at everything, sports-wise. I wouldn't say I'm... it's hard to be elite at everything, but I'm pretty good. I can hold my own. Yeah. All Liverpool's goals against them are mistakes, says yes, sir. What goals aren't a mistake, mate? You know, I learned this a long time ago. That there's hardly any goal that's not a mistake. I mean, look, I watched Man United over the last 10 years. Nearly every goal we concede is a mistake. Look at yesterday. I mean, about 5 big mistakes. Most goals come from a mistake. I mean, this is Alisson. He passes it into Van Dijk. The pass that Van Dijk plays is just not got enough weight on it. He knows it. He knows it. Alisson gives it into Van Dijk. McAllister is in a position where he can receive it. So here it comes. Now, this is why Van Dijk's at fault, because the weight of the pass, it's not got enough weight on it. And therefore, the Brighton player nips in. It's just look. It's the weight of the pass. It's terrible. Absolutely terrible. Mo Salah's the best player in the league, says Eamon. And hi, Mark. I'm a Liverpool fan, maybe biased, but shouldn't that be a red for a professional foul? He brings him down on purpose, says Joe. No, it's not a red card because it would be double jeopardy, wouldn't it? It's a goal-scoring opportunity, so you don't get a yellow card for that. Although, actually, there's no genuine attempt to win the ball, so you might be right. I don't know, mate. I don't know the rules on that. I'd like to know whether that should have been a red card. We're about to see it now. Normally, in a goal-scoring opportunity, as long as there's a genuine attempt to win the ball, then you don't get a red card and a penalty. But in this case, there's no genuine attempt to win the ball. I mean, I'm looking at the second goal, and again, it's just the keeper causes the problem. Let's have a look. Defender. Well, he does try to win the ball, to be fair, but he uses the player as well. The rule about bears, Stephen Rossi says there's a rule about bears. If it's a black bear, fight back. If it's a brown bear, lie down. And if it's a white bear, good night. All right. Would you take Maguire in a fight, says Rats? I don't know, he's a big lad. I'd say it's a yellow, not a red card, and it's a clear penalty. Shirt was tugged on, says Scouse. Don't think he did get booked, though. Don't think he did get booked. Let me have a look. No. Yeah, I mean, this is what I mean about the inconsistency of refereeing, though, isn't it? Like, they referee... I spoke to somebody this week, off the record, so I can't tell you, right? They'd seen the video I'd done last week, which went quite viral on TalkSport, about the disgrace that the PG MOL are and the injustice. And someone reached out to me who works in officiating, and we were having a bit of a back and forth. And I said the thing that pisses people off the most is inconsistency. It's the inconsistency that a red card in one game, the next game you'll see a worse tackle and it's not a red card. And he said to me, but that's the way they do it. They're not trying to get They're not trying to get consistency. They basically use VAR to back that referee up on that given day, and that referees the game how they want to referee it on that day. So it's very rare that the referee yesterday who gives Basuma his second yellow card for diving, today the referee probably won't. And they won't tell them off for that because they're not looking for consistency. They'll just go, that referee refs like this and that referee refs like that. And that's why we hate them. That's why we hate what VAR is, because they're not striving for creativity. They're not striving for consistency. They're just striving to protect their individual referee game to game. And each referee referees on mood and vibe game to game. Even Anthony Taylor will referee a decision differently game to game. And how can you ever have the best league in the world and the best officiating in the world if you don't have a consistent set of rules? And they don't follow them. They don't. So we get different rules all the time. Do you think Brighton can come back? I do. Not heard from Carl since. Basuma was a great call by the referee. Credit where it was due. I think it was a shit call, Rory. I think it was a shit call because they don't do it every game. So that is a prime example of, if you're going to send people off for second yellow cards for diving, then every person on a yellow card who dives has to be sent off, or it's an injustice against Spurs. And the fact is, and I said it yesterday, Rory, it doesn't happen all the time. I've seen so many people on a yellow card or not on a yellow card dive and not get booked, and that's not fair. You can't. That's why I hate this style of officiating. Who's more underrated, Salah or Son, says Abraham. Well, I'll do a little poll for you there. That's a good one. Who is more underrated, Salah or Son? I think they're both underrated in the sense that Salah is one of the best players that's ever played in the Premier League, and therefore he's one of the best players in the world. I don't think he gets held up there enough. I don't think Salah gets mentioned for Ballon d'Or anywhere near as much as he should do. And that's a United fan saying that. But he is ridiculously consistent. And he never gets mentioned for the Ballon d'Or. And I don't really understand that. Don't understand it at all. I don't know. And to a certain extent, I think you're right about Son as well. But why is there never a clamour for Salah to be the Ballon d'Or winner? And that's why I think he's underrated, because I think he's up there. Do people know what underrated means, says Goddy? Yeah, underrated means they don't get the credit they deserve. I think both players get credit, but do they get the credit they deserve? You know, do they get mentioned in the same breath? Jack says it's because he's Egyptian. I actually agree with you, Jack. And I don't know the context of that. I don't know whether it's xenophobia or anything, but I don't think it's xenophobia, actually. I think it's just stereotypical. I think if Salah was Brazilian, he'd win more, he'd be mentioned more as a Ballon d'Or winner. Or if he was French. But because he's from a country that's not traditionally known for having superstar footballers, I don't think it helps. But, you know, it helps Salah because he's a proud Egyptian, of course. As a Liverpool fan, I say Son is more underrated just because of the team he's around that doesn't allow him to shine as much as far as... And I think that's a great point about Son as well. You think about it, imagine what Son would be like in a... Imagine what Son would be like in a Liverpool team. Ajax are in a relegation zone apparently now. But look at what he's like in a team that plays football now. I mean, Son's probably wasted the last 3 years of his career playing under Conte and Mourinho, hasn't it? If we're being absolutely honest. But yeah, it's a good old question there. Enjoyed that. Yeah, will Brighton come back in the second half? They're more than capable of coming back in the second half. I don't think there's any doubt about that. They've got the players to do it. But I do think that defensively, Brighton's problem is very clear at the moment. They're conceding a hell of a lot of goals. 8 goals in 1.5 games. A lot of goals to concede. I am doing Man City versus Arsenal at Arsenal after this one. I don't want to, move on too quickly from this, but yeah, be a very interesting game, and I'm looking forward to it. Game of the weekend, arguably game of the season so far. They were the 2 contenders for the title last year. It's a little bit tighter at the top this year, but I still think most people would have said at the start it's Arsenal or Man City for the league. Of course, the amazing thing is that if Liverpool had won last week, and that's a big, big if, but if Liverpool had won last week, They'd have 3 more points than they've got now. They'd be on 22 points. They'd be 4 points ahead of Man City as things stand. And that's what I mean about that decision last week. It could be a massive decision in the context of the league if Liverpool keep winning. And I tell you what, I think that's what Liverpool will do. I think Liverpool will just say to the PGMOL, we're keeping the legal case on this on hold, because if we miss out on the league or the Champions League by 2 points or 1 point, we're coming for you. Zuby says Man United are playing well again. I think that's sarcasm. We're definitely not. Gravenberch is coming on for Liverpool here. People said Son was finished last season. Says no. Well, Salah and Son won the Golden Boot the year before, didn't they? And then they sort of fell off a little bit. Although Salah still scored a lot of goals last year. Good day, Mark, says Alki. So Gravenberch is coming on for... Was it Harvey Elliott he's come on for there? Yeah. Stronger midfield 3 now. Oh, I can't believe I had a sneeze and now it's gone sniffy again. Right, let me get the timer ready. Thanks everyone who's watching, by the way. Make sure you subscribe, bottom right hand corner. Thanks for tuning in. We are doing Arsenal Man City after this game. Brighton, all to do. Conceding too many goals. Somebody in the chat says, when did they buy Gravenberch? A few weeks ago, mate. Right, we're up and running for the second half here. We have a super chat from Harvey. He says, if you count the assist he should have against Spurs, then Salah has a goal or assist in 15 games in a row. There you go. There you go. So Gravenberch in that midfield now. Bosley, McAllister and Gravenberch. You know, I don't think that... I have to be careful what I say here, but I don't know that the press and media in this country really grasp certain things in football, because I know I said it to you a couple of weeks ago, but I'm going to repeat it. It's absolutely incredible, the genius of Klopp to do what he did in the summer, and I don't really hear anybody talking about it. That midfield 3 that he's got playing there, Gravenberch, McAllister and Bosley, or even Harvey Elliott, who started, or even other game weeks as well, that's a brand new midfield. Like, before the summer, you would have said Liverpool's best midfield 3 is Henderson, Fabinho and Thiago. They don't play. 2 of them are gone. 1 of them doesn't play. Liverpool are in a title race at the moment. Liverpool are playing well at the moment. And he's rebuilt a midfield in 1 summer. Like, he's not bought 1 midfielder in. He's not, Gundogan for Kovacic like Pep. The midfield is the heart of the team. Games and won and lost in the midfield. He's replaced his whole midfield in 1 summer, and they're right back up there. I mean, that is not to be understated. I'm amazed it doesn't get the focus it should do from the mainstream, because it's not easy to do that. Ross says, are you keeping up with the rugby, Mark? England and Ireland are through to the quarterfinals next weekend. I will start watching it a bit now, Ross, yeah. Especially because it's next weekend and there's no football. Here's Darwin Nunez, gets the ball out to Salah. Back into Darwin Nunez. Of course, Salah's on a hat-trick. Optus Sports just said it's not a red because he was going across goal and it's not deemed a clear-cut chance, so that's why it isn't a red, says Joe. I think it's not a red because there was a genuine attempt to win the ball as well. He grabs the shirt and then slide tackles. So I think as long as there's talking about a bit of a penalty there on Salah. Kicks the ball, doesn't he, March, there? Love the streams, Mark. How long do you think Poch will be given at Chelsea? They've just won 2 in a row, Roberto. Chelsea scoring goals. Steve Thomas has got it right. It's not red because of double jeopardy. You don't get a red card and a penalty if there's a genuine attempt to win the ball. Here's a lovely pass. Lovely pass in behind. Adingra again. Cuts inside. He's got to score. Great save. What a save. This is why he's the best goalkeeper in the world. That's 2-2. That's 2-2. Absolutely fantastic save. Lovely pass by Ferguson. Adingra. Alisson's gone down injured here. But again, what a save that is by Alisson. It's magnificent. Lovely ball. It's so good. Adingra does so well. He sends Robertson back to Scotland. It wasn't Robertson. What a save as well. It's with the hand. It's not with the body. I think it was Robertson, actually. Yeah, it was Robertson. Sent him back to Hull. To Hull and back. And, great. Well, it's just great. It's not straight at him. He's got his hands down to his side. He saves it with his hand. Mate, you don't understand goalkeeping, fire up. Like that. If it hits you in the knob, it's still a great save because it's a one-on-one. That's your job. That should be 2-2, though. I mean, from Brighton's point of view, you got to score that. I don't like to say it, but he is the best goalkeeper in the league. Him or Courtois in the world. Lovely pass by Ferguson, though. Big chance for Brighton. They've got to, take positivity from that. Matoma down the left-hand side. Trent does well. I could do with a Matoma goal. He's gone. Here's Pedro. Needs to go wide to Matoma. Matoma was the pass. Ferguson shoots over. To Stegen, a lot of people are saying wasn't a bad effort by Ferguson there, but it's got a lot of whip on it. Stretch. Actually, I'm just going to get a tissue. Here's one I prepared earlier. I hope that's not return. I hope that's not a return of my cold. You can't have two colds. You can't have a relapse. Oh, I can't believe that. One sneeze and it all starts off. Prod says the ref's sucking Liverpool off today. Matip just got checked by Matoma there. Don't be booking him. Salah and Son, who's the most underrated? 52% went with Salah, 48% went with Son. 10,000 votes. Thank you very much, everybody, for getting involved in that. Wolves have scored, apparently. That would be a massive goal if Wolves have scored. And they have. They bloody have. I would have believed it. Bit of a Midlands derby, that. Wolves just up the road from Birmingham. It's at the Molineux. They beat Man City last week. Villa fancied by everybody at the moment, but this could be a goal. Oh, he's at the bar! He can't believe it! Gravenberch on the back post. Cross from Szoboszlai. Looks like a tap in. It's a tap on the bar. He wants a drink. He didn't get a drink. It's 1-0 to Wolves, by the way. Hwang Hee-chan has scored. This game's got a lot going on at the moment. Wanted a foul there. Probably should have been a foul. Ref plays on. Ferguson. Into Matoma. Bad pass. Brighton pushing here. Here's the chance for Gravenberch on the back post. Yeah, should score. Big chance. It's a sitter. I was just waiting for that one. I think we've got a goal at Villa again. I don't know whether it's 2-0. Villa have scored. Villa have equalised straight away. No messing around. That chance for Gravenberch should have been a goal, by the way. That probably kills the game as well. Just not able to keep it down. Who scored for Villa? Neto got an assist for Hwang Hee-chan. He's having a great season, isn't he? He's having a great time. Corner to Brighton here. Goal to Villa, 1-1. Straight after the goal for Wolves. Always a dangerous time. Pau Torres. Pau Torres has scored. I said he was a contender for, not having a good season. Jared Bowen's bound to score today, isn't he? Let's be honest. Pau Torres, 1-1. Wolves and Villa. Still 2-1 here. I did slate him on the podcast, Awoken, yeah. I know. Well, I didn't slate him. I just said his stats weren't very good. Might have been at fault for the Wolves goal. I don't know. Haven't seen it. Debate, says Nathan Allen. Is Alisson the greatest goalkeeper in the Premier League? Because I think he is. Be able to pass out from the back, one-on-ones and shot stopping. Well, it's not a debate, Nathan. I think everybody knows Alisson's the best goalkeeper in the Premier League. I'll tell you what, a Brighton goal any time in the next 5 minutes would set this game up perfectly. Their attack's been very good. Adingra's played really well. Lovely play again. And Liverpool come away with it, though. You sense there's going to be a goal in the next 10 minutes. Newcastle have scored as well. 1-1. Bastard, I've got Areola in goal as well. Everyone scored. No clean sheet Sunday. If you wanted clean sheets, you're not going to get any. Alexander Isaac. The goals are flying in now. Good tackle there. And Brighton come away again. No, they don't. Liverpool have won it back. Salah. It's not going to finish 2-1, is it? You don't feel that. Amara put Isaac in his team. Interesting comment here from KM. He says, I don't think Diaz is the same player for Liverpool. Look, he was a very, very good player at the start of last season. Then he got that injury. Apparently, Newcastle's goal's offside. Well, I'll keep an eye on that. Salah, nice little ball in. And another 1-2. Oh, Nathan Allen says he's the best goalkeeper in Premier League history. Well, I don't know. I mean, the Premier League spans 30 years, Nathan, and the goalkeeping position has changed. It's unfair to compare a David Seaman or a Peter Schmeichel or a Petr Cech to Alisson because he is better, because the goalkeeping position has revolutionised. So, Isaac goal's been given, by the way. Van der Sar was a very good goalkeeper as well. Saka's not in the squad for Arsenal, apparently. I had him in my team. So that levels things up. It makes it difficult for Arsenal. I mean, they can still win it, but it makes it more difficult for Arsenal, definitely. Saka's just such a big contributor. Danny Welbeck's coming on. I think is it Ferguson coming off? Yeah, Ferguson off, Welbeck on. Hi Mark, says Matthew. Well, we're nearly halfway through. Well, we're not actually. The first of our 2 big games going on today. Can you show the match stats? Sorry, they should be going round anyway. Let me get that right. Welbeck's just come on. That's instantly changed. Remember, we're sponsored by OneFootball on the stream. You can download the OneFootball app for free by scanning the QR code in the top right-hand corner or going through the link in the video description. Get all your latest score updates, transfer news, football news on the OneFootball app for free. You can download it on Apple, Android, etc. Also, we got the match stats there, powered by OneFootball, but you can get the individual player stats as well on the app. So download it for free, OneFootball. Lovely play by Matoma, but he's tackled, so it's not lovely play by definition. And Liverpool coming away here. Mo Salah's not going to get through there. I'll be stunned if this finishes 2-1. Newcastle are leading now. Goals are flying in. Isaac again. I've got the Arsenal lineup if you want it. I'm sure you do. Let me get it for you. Arsenal lineup is Raya, White, Saliba, Gabriel, Zinchenko, Jorginho, Rice, Odegaard, Jesus, Nketiah, and Trossard. Nketiah plays too many games. That's the problem. I mean, hopefully he'll score today, but I think he is an Everton striker playing too often for Arsenal. But no Saka today at all. Raya, White, Saliba, Gabriel, Zinchenko, Jorginho, Rice, Odegaard, Jesus, Nketiah, and Trossard is our Arsenal lineup today. No Saka at all. It is 2-1 to Newcastle. I will give you the goal scorer. Isaac again. Trippier with an assist on the second one. Oh, I'm going to give up on FPL. I'm just miles off, aren't I? Fucking miles off. Who's your 5 top Premier League goalkeepers in history? For me, Alisson, Peter Schmeichel, Van der Sar, Cech, and Seaman. Yeah, I can't. No one massively jumps. I mean, I think I'd put De Gea ahead of David Seaman, to be honest. But that puts 3 Man United goalkeepers in there. But no, I would put De Gea ahead of David Seaman. He just gets underrated because he wasn't a ball-playing goalkeeper, but he was brilliant at everything else. A lot of people very happy in the chat with a Trippier assist. I could do with a Lascelles assist. That's never going to happen, is it? Courtois deserves a shout, says LS. Was he that good in the Prem? Did play in the Prem. Man City's lineup is as follows. Ederson, Walker, Diaz, Aki, Kovacic, Haaland, Alvarez, Silva, Vardiel, Foden, Lewis. Obviously, Rodri's still suspended. Could be quite an equal game, that. I still think Man City will have the experience. Still half an hour to go in this game, though. So Man City are Ederson, Walker, Diaz, Aki, Vardiel, Lewis, Kovacic, Foden, Silva, Alvarez and Haaland. Saka was injured, wasn't expected to be involved and isn't involved. Gravenberch, shot, not enough power on it. Keeper gets down on it. You're going to get a takeaway tonight? No, I've got a roast dinner. It's all about timing. It's whether I can have it in between these two games. Don't want loads of stuff added time. If this game finishes at around 4 o'clock, I can go and have my roast dinner back live for 4:15. That's the sort of plan I'm looking at here. I am doing a watch along, David, yeah. What's your favourite breakfast, says Marty Smith. I do like an English breakfast, but I don't have them very often. They're not particularly healthy. Liverpool play on here with Salah. He'd love a hat-trick. He'd love a hat-trick. He goes into the box, but it's a tackle. March has done quite well against him, although I suppose when Salah... Well, one was a penalty. I'm looking forward to my roast dinner, Adam. It's got bread sauce, it's got stuffing, it's chicken. Bring it on. Do you think Trippier's the best right back in the league? No. You ever been to Hull, Mark, says Kenzie? No. What do you thoughts on Zinchenko's comments, says Nabil? I don't know what people are talking about. And JD says Liverpool are dominating now with Gravenberch in there. Liverpool have been better in the second half, definitely. Brighton, I think, were the better team in the first half, but Liverpool do seem to have got hold of it a bit. Do you think Ramsdale's going to leave? I'll quantify this by saying I didn't think Spurs would get top 8 this season. So, obviously, Spurs are doing really, really well. So, I was wrong so far. But Zinchenko shouldn't be playing after that IG post. Haven't seen it, Yazir. Don't know whether I've got my phone. But I did say that when Raya went to Arsenal, he would be number 1. And a lot of Arsenal fans said, no way, Rambo will be the goalie. And I was like, you don't make those signings unless you're replacing your goalkeeper. Whether it's right or wrong, you don't do it. So, let's have a look. Well, his account's private. I'm not following him. Cheeky bastard. You're a professional footballer. I'm not bloody following you. So I'm not doing that. Just looking at something else on Instagram there. Diaz shot wide. I missed the Diaz chance. I was looking at something else. He's deleted it, Mark. I don't know what it was, so I can't comment on it. Mark, what do you think about Alexander Isaac, says Willie? Well, I think with Isaac, he was always a player that you'd look at when he was playing in Spain and you'd go, he is a talented player, but he doesn't have a very good goal ratio. Fair play to Newcastle, because he definitely has a good goal ratio now, and it's a good signing. Who would have been better for Man United, Onana or Raya, says Eamon? I'm not going to be a hypocrite. I would always go Onana, but obviously in hindsight, Premier League proven Raya would be better at the moment. His post was him supporting Israel, says Dylan. Okay, well, politics and football you've got to be very careful about, haven't you? I'm not saying they can't mix, but the whole point of politics is that there are at least two sides, and you're going to alienate one side when you do that. Look, everybody's allowed to... Matoma! What? Handball! Referee! Referee, that looked like a handball. Doesn't get given though. He blasted it straight at him, but he should have bloody scored. That's me bloody fantasy Premier League in a second. That is, it's an absolute sitter. Kame says it's not a handball. He did blast it at him. They're having a look. They're having a look on the camera. Having a look. Let's have a look. He shoots. No. Well, it's one of those I want consistency on. We never get consistency on these. Well, I've just tweeted something there. The big problem is, we'll do a poll on this. Was it a penalty or not? You know, the PGMOL need to start looking at these. Penalty or not, yes or no. Honestly, I don't fucking know. I don't know, because 1 week it is, 1 week it isn't. Like, that is no different to the penalty that Luton got against Wolves, where it flicks up onto a hand that's in an unnatural position. On the other hand, it's not as bad as the penalty that wasn't given for Man United at Spurs with Romero. So there's examples of them being given, and there's examples of them not being given. So I can empathise with Liverpool fans saying that's not a penalty, and I can also empathise with Brighton fans saying, but we've seen penalties given for that. So again, this is the thing, isn't it? They hide and hide. They run and hide away. And for me, who's the loser? It's the fans. It's always the fans. Kyle says, off his leg, never a penalty. Go and watch Wolves Luton. Because they did give one for that. It's... Amanda says, never a penalty, Mark. Never. Go and watch Luton Wolves. Penalty given. So, I choose not... Sometimes you don't have to get into an argument. I choose not to, because anybody who says it's not a penalty is right, and everyone who says it is a penalty is right, because they've already given and not given penalties for that this season, and that's the problem. They refuse to bring consistency to this game, and they can say that they're never going to make a mistake like the offside again, but they'll continue to make mistakes about red cards and penalties because they refuse to bring in consistency. So all we ever end up with is inconsistency. It was given against Martinez last year, but that was a Europa League game, and they actually... I mean, look, I've said this before. Why is the PGMOL so xenophobic in the fact that they don't recruit foreign referees. You know, Matoma's not English, Salah's not English, but they play in the Premier League. So why do we have majority British referees? The officiating in Europe is far better. In the Champions League and in the Europa League, if it hits your hands, 9 times out of 10 you get a penalty. So I'd rather they officiated like that, because I'm tired of it. I'm tired of a handball and going, fuck knows. 1 week it is, 1 week it isn't. Even Klopp thought De Zerbi getting a yellow is ridiculous. Not allowed to show passion or do anything anymore. It's ruining football, says Nathan. Well, the fact that Anthony Taylor comes over and books a referee because a referee is saying, why aren't you looking at the penalty, is incredible. You know, again, never tell me that they aren't a bunch of dictators ruining this game of football, because that's literally what they are. They're school teachers FC. Coffee breath FC. They stink. Shit breath. That's what they are. Because it's just about, I'm in charge, we're the dictators, whatever we say goes. Oh, you're moaning because it could have been a penalty. Yellow card. I mean, why is he getting a yellow card for? Why is he getting a yellow card? Because he's had a go at the fourth official, because he's saying that was a penalty at Luton a couple of weeks ago, so why is it not a penalty now? Oh, Anthony, he's shouting at me, Anthony. He's making a good point, but he's doing it in a way that I feel offended. Can we get him booked? Yeah, I'll be there. I'll be there. Yeah, while you're here, ref, do you want to look at the VAR? No, I'm here to book you. Ridiculous. They're just little dictators. That's what they are. Dictators. Ruining the game every fucking week. And I'm not saying it is a penalty. What I'm saying is it was at Luton and they didn't apologise to Wolves. So if they didn't apologise to Wolves for that penalty, that means they stand by it. So, you know, it's every week, and every week it's a different team. Like last week it was Liverpool, massively, biggest injustice of the season, but it's coming to a team near you. And I'm sure there was Brighton fans last week saying to Liverpool, oh, stop moaning, and they'll be moaning now. And this is why people go, oh, fair play, Mark, you're being very unbiased. I'm not being unbiased. I just know what the refereeing's like in this country, and I've seen it happen to my team, and I've seen it happen to Liverpool, and I've seen it happen to Arsenal, I've seen it happen to Brighton. It's just, it ruins it. It ruins it because they're so fucking inconsistent. I wish they could just have set rules for handball and red card and improve the game, but they don't. VAR just gifting Liverpool 3 points to shut them up, says Cute. Well, of course, people will now be saying, well, it was a clear handball, and they're just evening out what happened to Liverpool last week. But that's not fair on Liverpool, is it? Because, you know, Liverpool shouldn't be... Liverpool. If I was a Liverpool fan, I wouldn't be sat there going, oh, yeah, thanks, PGMOL, for fucking us over last week and then, you know, not giving a penalty against us this week. It's not good enough, is it? Then you get Mike Dean on Sky Sports with the most spineless analysis of the ref mistakes. No wonder they are so awful. I listened to Mike Dean yesterday, and the arrogance of we're better than you bullshit was just incredible. I am doing the Man City game, John. It doesn't kick off for an hour. The amount of people saying, you're not doing the Man City game. It's not kicked off. Doesn't kick off for an hour. I do like this ball, though, and I'm going to show off mine. I wish I could tell you what game it was from. Proper. It's got a date on here. If I tell you the date, you'll know the game. Proper ball. Proper Premier League ball. I've got to give it back, but it's... I'm really happy with that. Tell you what, they are good when you hit them. I'm not allowed to play with this. It's got to go back, but... it was a good game that it was from. Tell us a goal scorer. 2-2 Brighton. I'll tell you a goal scorer. It's Dunk. Dunk! He's dunked it! 2-2! A goal for Brighton! I wasn't ready for it. I saw it. It's 2-2. I haven't seen the goal yet. Don't know how it goes in. I've just seen Dunk celebrating. I was just about to tell you where the ball was from. I'll give you a clue. It's a free kick. I think it's March. Oh, it's terrible defending by Liverpool. 2-2. Poor defending for a cross there. Why does no one attack it? And, well, what have we got? 10 minutes to go. Brighton back in it. Ryan Powell says they all left it. I mean, literally, the cross comes in quite low. You can't leave that as a defender. All right, it might go in off you, but you can't leave that. Slam dunk, says H2K. Who got the assist? March. Well, that Gravenberch chance now becomes more painful, doesn't it? He should have scored. It was a lovely cross by Szoboszlai. He's on the back post. He's just got to control it in. It ends up it would have been 3-1 and probably game over. Now it's 2-2. Wasn't even a free kick, says D99. Oh, it's all going on now. You see, once the officiating goes, it goes. What could we get a winner here? I think there's a winner here. I think there'll be a winner here. $10 minutes to go. It's been a good game, you know. It has been a good game. No one's been carded in this game. We've got to get him now, says Charlie. Yeah, don't forget we are going to be live for the Man City Arsenal game. Massively excited about that one, but still got 10 minutes to go here. We're only 10 subscribers away from 37,000, so please do subscribe. Bottom right hand corner, get involved with That's Football. You're all welcome. Matoma's got it on the left hand side here. He's been kept relatively quiet. Did have a chance though. Was it a penalty for Brighton? No, 51%. Yes, 49%. And I think that's perfect. I'm actually very happy with that because Mark was too busy fiddling with his balls to see the goal live, says Rob Dawson. I think the fact that people are 50-50 on that penalty really exposes the problem with the Premier League. Fans just don't know. You know, 50% think it should have been a handball penalty. 50% think it shouldn't have been a handball. I think you're absolutely correct. I think you're all right. For once, I think everybody's right because I don't know whether it's a penalty or not because 1 week it is and 1 week it isn't. So, you know, there you have it. The hate Beckham got after the World Cup makes the Maguire abuse claims by Southgate even more ridiculous. Players now don't realise how easy they've got it, says Alex. And we'll be on again this week. I forgot about that. International break. Southgate will be stirring it up again. No one even bloody talks about Maguire at Man United. You know, the last 4 weeks, nobody talks about him. Most people wanted him to play yesterday. And he played quite well. Nobody talks about fucking Maguire at Man United. He never gets a mention at all. Until he goes on international duty. And then they start gobbing off about it. Another free kick for Brighton. The scores in the other games, I think they're all the same at the moment. Still 1-1 between Wolves and Villa. And still 2-1 to Newcastle at West Ham. That'd be a bloody, very good result, you know. Very good result for Newcastle if they win at West Ham. West Ham are no pushovers. That's going to go for a corner off Salah. So another corner here. They've been pretty good on corners and crosses into the box, Brighton. They've gone short to Matoma. He's fell over. He's still got it though. Liverpool should clear this. Salah clears it, yes. Some people are saying it wasn't even a foul on March for the free kick. Well, I didn't see a replay of it. I mean, it looked like he was fouled, I've got to say. Arsenal are in for one hell of a beating, says Alex Golding. I really hope. I don't even, I think Arsenal need to win it to make the this is a goal. Oh, my life. What a miss. Pedro, I'm scoring this. You're scoring this. We're all scoring this. There's only Pedro not scoring this. It comes to him just outside the 6-yard box, dead centre, and he's put it over the bar. I mean, that is a golden opportunity. I mean, it's up there with Gravenberch. Oh my God, it's so simple to score. De Zerbi can't believe it. It's a massive chance. It's a let-off. They've both been let off today. Liverpool should have won it with Gravenberch, and Brighton definitely should have won it there. Now it's Darwin Nunez. You sense there's going to be a winner. Anthony Taylor's getting involved now. He's trying to... Don't do that. There's already suspicions you're trying to help Liverpool win. That was a big miss. That was a big miss. Timo Pedro, says Lun. How does Werner do now back in Bundesliga? Man City versus Tottenham might be one to watch, says Gerv. It's not for a few weeks though, is it? Havertz is not starting for Arsenal, which I think is a good thing. Get some balance in that midfield. What's Lukaku doing now? I've not really paid much attention to any European leagues for a while. Cross comes in, Verbruggen grabs hold of it. He's at Roma. Roma aren't doing very well, are they? When they're talking about sacking Mourinho if he doesn't win today. Oh, lovely skill by Matoma. He's going direct. And that's a foul by Trent. And he's going to book him. No, it wasn't. It was Gomez, sorry. Roma are not doing really well, Sir Irwin, because he was meant to be getting the sack. Yeah, he's only just come on, Gomez, and he's got a yellow. Alan Wallace says, no way did I think it might end up being a draw. Well, it might not be a bad result for either team, really, a draw. It's a great game to win, but a draw might not be a bad result for either team. If you look at the league table, 16, 17. It's not a terrible result for Man United, actually. If we can get in. I mean, I don't think we can get in the top 4 race. Roma, he's got 5 goals in 6 games. Back post. Oh, Brighton. I tell you what, Brighton, if they'd have been a little bit more composed in the final third. Nothing won out of a draw, says Frank. It's better than a loss. Lazio are playing Cagliari tonight at 5 o'clock. Aberdeen have scored against St Johnstone, if you give a shit. Still 1-1 between Wolves and Villa. I can't remember what my predictions were in win, lose or draw this week. I cannot remember what I went for on Sunday. Newcastle, West Ham, I don't remember what I went for. I don't remember what I went for between Villa and Wolves either. I think I went Villa. I went for a Liverpool win in this, but Brighton looked more likely to me. I mean, Liverpool haven't been that convincing today. I know that if Gravenberch scores, it's 3-1 and it's game over, and he should have scored. But the penalty and the Salah goal, well, both were Salah goals, but they did come from mistakes. Liverpool just never really got going today, I don't think. Add Villa and Liverpool winning, says Sir Win. What did I have in the Newcastle one? Over the bar from Diaz there. You doing a Merseyside watch-along? Yeah, we've got a week off next weekend, haven't we? Pedro's coming off. West Ham have equalised. If it's Jared Bowen, I'm done. I put him in the most flop of the season so far. So if he's scored, then I'm going to look at right Pratt. But it's not. It's Kudus. It's Kudus who scored. Do you know why I put Jared Bowen in there? Because, not for content. Salah, blocked. Because away, apart from scoring goals, which I know is important, his stats at everything else are rubbish. Like his pass completion, his crosses into the box, his attacking actions. He's just not like... And the reason I did it is because Rashford was a bit like this last year. Scored goals, but in his overall play wasn't that good. So I was just making the point that, you know, people... It's like giving man of the... When I was growing up, you'd have like football on the TV. Man of the match was always the guy who scored a goal. And I think we're better than that. I think football's better than that. I don't think the man of the match is the guy who scores the goal. I think the man of the match is the guy who's been the best player on the pitch. And that was my point I was trying to make about Bowen. He's scoring goals, but his overall play isn't that good. It was a bit harsh putting him in the flop of the season. He didn't even get in flop of the season anyway. It was Jesus, Rashford and Jackson. You went Villa, Liverpool win and West Ham win, says Young God. Oh, okay. Well, I might still be right. Every game's a draw. Brighton 2, Liverpool 2, West Ham 2, Newcastle 2, Wolves 1, Villa 1. Will they all finish in a draw, or will we get a winner in any of them? Surely, being the Premier League, one of them will dish up a late winner. Assist for Ward-Prowse for Kudos, by the way. Brighton's going to score the winner, says TJ. It's exciting. It's exciting. In fairness, look, most goals are mistakes, but if you look at all 4 goals, I don't think either coach is going to be happy defensively. I mean, Liverpool, the first goal was Van Dijk, a bad pass. The second goal they concede is, letting a ball drop on the ground in the 6-yard box. You've got to attack it. Brighton, both goals from playing out the back. A draw is probably the right result, though. If this finishes in a draw, only 4 minutes added on. I think a draw is probably the right result. It's getting better all the time. Saka's injured. Yeah, we know that. Omar, thank you very much for your update. Jorginho, Rice and Odegaard, the midfield 3. Gone for a bit of protection in there. Could John make an appearance for Brighton this season, says Hutch. I don't know what you're talking about there. Only 4 minutes. Yeah, I don't know whether they're abandoning adding this long time onto games now. I think we're seeing it less and less, aren't we? But 4 minutes. This happened with Man United and Palace last week. I was stunned at 4 minutes, but it's not necessarily a bad thing. Good tackle by Gomez there to stop having such a long time added on. Here's Gravenberch. He's got to use Salah, and he does. And Salah is in the box. You don't want him in the box. The cross is good, but there's no one anticipating it. And a long shot there from McAllister. Who's going to get the late result? Mark says a draw is fair. 13 minutes in the Villa game. Thanks for the watch along, says Rob. Thanks, pal. Don't forget, we're back at 4:15. Man City, Arsenal. I'm just going to go. I would normally start at 4, but I'm just going to have something to eat. I'm going to go and have me roast dinner. Bit of stuffing, bit of bread sauce. Excited. Belieber gone down with a bit of cramp. Had a good game. He's had a good game. All the 2 o'clock games are a draw at the moment. It's looking like West Ham Newcastle's going to end in a draw because they're ahead of us. 3 draws in the Premier League. I'd take a draw Arsenal-Man City. I think the one result I don't want is a Man City win, just for the league. I don't want Man City to run away with it, but... There we go. They're striving through here. He's going to book. He's booking Belieber, who's got cramp. There's a red card at Wolves. Lemina. Well, that gives Villa about 7 minutes against 10 men. There could be a late winner at the Molineux for Villa. Well, here's an interesting point Tate Nation makes. Liverpool have to be disappointed. They could have had 4 points from their last 2. They're going to end up with 1. Well, we all know what happened at Spurs. Liverpool are going to finish the game on the attack, though. It's not over yet. McAllister into Salah. Looked offside. Still got it in the box. Szoboszlai is going to whip a cross in, surely. And I think that will be that. It is that. It finishes in a draw, 2-2. Look, probably the right result. Obviously, a lot of respect between De Zerbi and Klopp. Not a great week for Liverpool, really, but they'll probably take that point and go into the international break knowing that they've got 4 very winnable games to come. When you look at the league table, this is how it stands. Liverpool are now into 3rd place with 17 points, 3 points off the top. They'll be hoping Man City don't win and that they stay within 3 points of the top, which keeps it nice and tight. I think it's so important that Arsenal don't lose to Man City today for the league, because Man City winning, and I think they're just going to keep running away with it, aren't they? But look, Liverpool can talk about last week. You know, I still think they've got to do something about that. But with regards to this week, that's 2-2. And it's a bounce back for both teams who lost last week, isn't it? Brighton still there or thereabouts, 16 points for them. West Ham are, I think, drawing with Newcastle still. Wolves have had a red card against Villa. Maybe there'll be a late winner there. But I'm going to go and get myself a spot of food. I'm going to get some food, and then we're going to be live at 4:15 for Man City against Liverpool. So I will see you there in about 20 minutes' time. Thanks everyone for watching. Speak to you in a bit.